What's up, yo? And welcome back to AAB TV, better known as Authentically RGB TV. I am your girl, Audrey B, and we are back. No, not in the studio, but we're in our new location. Just like my favorite show, your favorite show, America's favorite show, Abbott Elementary. And we do this every week. We're going to do a recap of last night's episode. So let's get into it, shall we? All right, y'all. So this episode is episode 11, and this is mall part 3. And everybody is still at the mall. The Abbott crew still at the mall. So we open with Jacob, who is an interim gym teacher, and he's like, I can only do so much. We need a gym teacher. They're playing dodgeball. They end up breaking a window, and he's relaxing on the bench. And then Barb's like, Jacob. And that's how it opened. But once we come back, we see that Janina's is letting us know that Abbott is doing really well, despite them being basically pushed off into the mall, having to readjust and rearrange everything. They're doing well. Kids' grades are good, better than last year's. They are basically just jumping into this new routine, and they got it in the bag, right? And so it seems to be that this new adjustment is working out for the better. They're getting a hang of routines, and she's also in the middle of her classroom reading a book. She has a student, Deontay, I believe is what his name was, and he has a hard time focusing. So she pairs him with Sierra, which is one of her good students, as she says, because he seems to have taken a liking to her, and she does well when it comes to helping him stay focused. And then we move on from that. On the other hand, Mr. Johnson is still pretending to be Daya, but he walks into Ava's office because he has an appointment with her as Mr. Johnson. And did y'all see how he turned around and then got back into his natural, Mr. Johnson character? Like, that man is out of his mind. But anyways, he's telling her that, look, I'm a janitor. I'm good at what I do, but this mall is too daggone big. And I'm just like, I would be asking for 2 and 3 people, not just one person to help me, because unless they just cut off half the mall and they don't use it at all. But from the episodes, it looks like they use the entire mall. So, because it's elementary all the way to middle school. So they need the entire space. And of course, he does his job well, and he don't play about cleaning. So he tells her that he has a list of people that could possibly come and help him. These people run from movie characters to other people that I can't even think of right now, but we all know how Mr. Johnson thinks and how he is. And so she was like, absolutely not, but I will get a hold of the district and tell them that you need some help. Meanwhile, Melissa is getting deeper and deeper and deeper into the 80s, y'all. Now she has the big poofy crimpy hair. She's got that bright big makeup. She's got the outfits on. And y'all remember that was her hangout spot, right, at that mall in Philadelphia. And the 80s was her heyday. And ever since they've been in the mall, she has turned completely into somebody else. All her references, her outfits, everything is total 80s. And I'm just like, Lord, this joke is hilarious. I was not expecting her to be dressed like that when she popped up on the screen. But I was like, yeah, she's really getting deeper and deeper into the 80s. And then we moved to Ava making an announcement to the teachers that the district is coming to make some big announcement, right? And she is like, just basically letting them know, like, it could have been an email. And I was like, I've had plenty of those meetings that could have just been an email as well. But she lets them know that that they're coming to make an announcement. She doesn't know what it is, but everybody needs to be in attendance. And Jacob mentions that when he was over somewhere by Abbott, he didn't see any more construction workers outside or anybody working on the building. And so everybody took it upon themselves to do what? Assume that Abbott is ready for them to go back to, and everybody's so excited they can't wait. But like I said, the news, we didn't know at the time, is it going to be they're going to go back, or what is it going to be? But they all, just started to pat themselves on the back, like, we did it, y'all, we stuck it out, we going back, there's nothing like Abbott, like all that type of stuff. They made it work, and they couldn't wait until the district came to give them that announcement, because even though they're making it work, they would rather be back at their home school. And then later on, Mr. Johnson meets Miss Carroll. I did not look it up, y'all, but it will probably be right here on the screen. Miss Carroll was the assistant, or the help that he needed, the new janitor, and they did not hit it off as soon as they met each other. It was like they was throwing like their own little insults back and forth. And they have like a rocky start, basically. And Mr. Johnson, did y'all catch how he flipped the stereotype of that women don't have any business cleaning? And we all know that so many people in history, and probably still now, think that that's all women are good for, is making babies and cleaning and cooking. But he was just like, women have no business cleaning. They need to be sticking to coaching NFL and being on Wall Street. And I'm just like, I see what you did there, Mr. Johnson. I love it. But anyways, Miss Carroll is feisty, and she gives Mr. Johnson back the good old attitude that he gives her. And they basically just are just like, we gonna see how this gonna work. So the district comes, and Simon, who we all know is cool with Janine and Greg and Jacob, they hang out or whatever, and he has this toxic relationship with Janine's friend Erica. But anyway, he still works for the district, right? And he comes with a special guest who is a reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer, which is a newspaper. And he's like giving them props for basically just, like I said before, just working with this new adjustment and everything turning out better than anybody could have expected. And they dealt with what they were given, and it's becoming like this big to do at the district. Like Abbott is really like doing it up, right? And he tells them that the lady that he brought with him is from the newspaper, and she's gonna write an article. And they were like, oh my gosh, yes, like about time we get appreciated for what we do. And he again gives them accolades, but everybody starts to be like, okay, so that's good and all, but when are we gonna go back to Abbott? And he's like, soon. That's always the case when nobody has a definite answer. So everybody was like, okay. But then he gets them all hyped up again, because he's like, and you guys are the best, and I feel like you're gonna get you're changing the face of education, is what the reporter told them. And Simon is just trying to like keep them, their spirits lifted, keep on giving them all type of compliments and affirmations, and telling them how proud they were of them. And again, just trying to like skate over the fact that they are not at Abbott yet, and they don't have a definite answer, right? And then everybody's kind of like just pushes that to the side, and then they start to take on the accolades that they get, the affirmation that they get. And the lady was telling them like, you guys are going to be on the front of the paper. And Simon throws in that Scholastic is bringing them a mobile library, so there'll be books and everything for everybody, brand new this, brand new that, just throwing all of this stuff at them. And I was just like, something's happening. Why are they being so nice? So like I said, everybody is just excited, because like they said, they're trusting the district, right? They're trusting that they're actually doing what they're supposed to do. But in the meantime, of course, they're gonna take what they can get, and enjoy the perks, as if you will. So they finally get the newspaper article, and they're reading it, and like I said before, they're just like, do schools even really need schools? Meaning, do you have to really be in a building? And then it goes on to talk about how well Abbott has been doing, the test scores, the incidents with the kids, like it has improved so much. And it's just like, wow, like, do we even need to be in buildings anymore, right? And everybody is so excited about it. They're, talking about how good they look in the pictures, especially Ava. And then Greg kind of brings up like a concern. He's like, is this really sending out the right message? Like, I don't know about this. And then Janine kind of assured him, like, no, it's fine. Like, we're getting recognition. Like, finally, like, we're getting the props that we've been wanting. Like, we knew Abbott was the best, and look, everybody sees it. It's on the front page of the paper, right? And she was like, hey, they called us heroes. And he was just like, I guess, okay. And while they're dealing with all of that, Mr. Johnson and Miss Carroll, they're still butting heads. They're still butting heads with their cleaning tactics and their cleaning ways and what they do and what the other one doesn't do, and vice versa, and who does it better, like this cleaning competition, right? But then they end up having this moment, right? They have this moment where it's just like, if it was a cartoon, it would be hearts and rainbows and butterflies coming out of their heads. And then they end up being all lovey-dovey, like, towards each other, very accommodating towards each other, very nice to each other, a mall-mance, if you will. The day goes on, and everybody's in the teacher's lounge, just kind of gushing over the article still, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it, like, I'm so proud of us, and da-da-da-da. And in walks the therapist, Miss Alomar, right, with her tall self. I didn't realize that lady was that tall. I really did not. But she comes in and she kind of puts a little bug in their ear, gets them to thinking, because she heard that construction workers were not at Abbott anymore. She put it in their ear, like, did they tell you why they came? Is that the real reason why they came? Kind of really like digging deep, and everybody who started to be like, well, what do you mean they said this, or they said that, or they did this, or they did that? Like, why would you say something like that? And she's like, I don't know. I'm just saying, could be right, could be wrong, but I'm probably right. And I was just like, oh my gosh, she's messy. But at the same time, she was being honest, right? If somebody said that they didn't see the construction anymore, it kind of confirms what Jacob said in the beginning of the episode, that he no longer saw the construction there. And so what could possibly be going on, especially if Simon from the district said they still aren't going? Like, what could possibly be going on, right? So Janine kind of is like, guys, let's just go and look for ourselves, right? Because surely she's wrong, and I'm short and I'm right. So she was like, and that's the best combination to be, am I right? And everybody's like, whatever, but they all agree. So they go to Abbott for themselves, and they see again that there's really nobody there. They're like, this looks the same. No, this looks the same, as they're walking down the hallway. And then they see the hallway that's being worked on or whatever. And they're like, oh, there it is. But again, nobody's there except for one person. And I personally thought it was a squatter myself. I said, they done got a homeless man eating food up in Abbott. Like, they don't care about them people or that school or when they come back. Come to find out, he was a construction worker who was on break, but me and Jacob was on the same type of time. He was like, you have the right to be here. You have the right to be here. I'm like, he's an ally to everybody, I swear. He's so funny, y'all. He's starting to become one of my favorites. But like I said, they find out that from the squatter construction worker man that Abbott is basically, on the back burner. Right? He was like, oh, y'all from that article, like, I heard y'all doing good, like, kind of sort of on the lines of saying, like, why do y'all want to come back here when y'all got it made in the shade over here at the mall and y'all doing so well? So, like, what's the point of y'all coming back to Abbott? And they're all just like, they're working on other schools. Like, what do you mean? Like, we need to get our stuff done too. And everybody was pretty bummed out. And I was just like, they have every right to be bummed out, though, because this is like, nothing is like home. Home is home. It's your safe place. It's like, what you're used to, what you're comfortable in. And when you're away from it too long, it doesn't feel right. And everybody, including the kids, they want to go back. And the district is just like kind of like stringing them along. So Once they get back to the school, they're pretty bummed out. But Janine, who's always trying to be, the positive one, she's just like, you know what, guys, let's just keep it going. Let's just grin and bear it, basically. We've been doing well. Let's continue to keep pressing, keep pushing, keep going. And we'll get there eventually. And everybody's like, yeah, I guess you're right. And then she ends up going back to her classroom. And like I told you all before, she had her good student, right, Sierra, with the student who couldn't focus, who was Deontay. He had some challenges, right, with behavior and all of that stuff. So she's talking to her because she had saw her sitting with her friends, but she called her over to sit with Deontay because he wasn't doing well in the class. He wasn't paying attention. So Sierra was just like, it's not fair. And she's like, you know what? In a nutshell, she's just like, well, you're really good at what you do. And I feel like you should be happy that you're chosen to sit with this student and, help him. Like, you should feel good about that. And then in the middle of her saying this to her, she has this epiphany. She has this revelation, like, wait, the same thing that I'm doing to Sierra with Deontay is what the district is doing to me. And she's like, it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. So she goes and she's like running, talking to the teachers in the lounge. And she's like, I got it. We're going to go and we're going to talk to the people at the district. And then she brings up the metaphor, but she keeps switching it up. She keeps trying to make sense of it all so they can understand what she was saying. And she was like, are y'all following me? Are y'all following me? And then they were just kind of like, basically like, yeah, girl, we follow you. But they didn't. And especially Greg, she was like, did you get it? Like, you my man. Like, so did you get what I was trying to say? And he was like, yeah. Then he looks at the camera and is like, no, I didn't get it at all. But anyways, like I said, she had that epiphany, and it made her realize that the district was basically taking advantage of them because they were doing well, and she wasn't having it, and they needed to go stand up for themselves. And that's exactly what she and the rest of the Abbott crew did. So they get to Simon's office, and they come in guns a-blazing, ready to go off on him. He on the phone, and she's like, oh, wait, y'all, he's on the phone. And they like, no, we don't care. Hang up that phone and talk to us right now. And they basically let him know, like, hey, we understand what you're doing. You're taking advantage of us because we're good at what we do. So you think that it's okay to put us on a back burner and not give us what we really want, and like basically feed us all this other things to distract us from the fact that you're not helping us at the end of the day. And he basically lets them know that, I know y'all want to get back in there. We want you to get back in there. But ever since y'all had that issue at Abbott, and it opened up basically a can of worms for issues at other schools. And because you guys are doing so well at the mall, we feel like y'all can wait while we go and we work on the other schools. And they're like, no, absolutely not. Like, we deserve to be where we want to be, which is back at the school. And you're going to tell us the exact date when that's going to happen, or we're not going to be happy people. And he's like going back and forth with them, not in a condescending or like I have the power over you type of way, but he's just like, I understand. Like, he's trying to be like, I get it. And they end up agreeing to the fact that he's going to talk to the people that are higher up and get them back into Abbott. And so we're going back to Abbott. We're finally going back to Abbott in 2 weeks, right? And so when that announcement is made, all of the students are there, and Barb and the other teachers are basically giving them their props as well for sticking it out with them, for being patient with them as they figured it out in order for them to help them, and talked about perseverance and how it helps you to learn new things and overcome challenges. And everybody just applauded themselves and each other for sticking with it, and that they were proud, which they deserve to be. And so with that, Mr. Johnson and Miss Carroll have this moment again where they realize, oh, you're going back to Abbott, I'm going back to do what I do. So at the end of the day, this moments got to end, right? They done took pictures together, they're cleaning together, they're hugged up together. She gives him a little kiss on the cheek and hands this picture that they took together in the photo booth, and everybody surrounds him and is like, oh my God, you guys were in love. Oh my God, how are you just gonna let her walk away? And he's just like, it's a moments, what can I say? And then again, Melissa, living in the 80s, reminiscing about her 4-hour moments with somebody with the last name Bozo or something like that, whatever she said. But Mr. Johnson and Miss Carol, maybe they'll come back together. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But like I said, I was looking at that lady like she looks so familiar. But we shall see if Miss Carol is coming back or not. And then we see the crew walking through the halls at Abbott, and everybody's happy to be back. They're talking about, oh, this looks new. Ain't nothing changed for real. But at the end of the day, they missed Abbott. They really did. And they even started to talk about how much they'll miss them all. But again, like I said before, nothing like home. So now that the crew is finding themselves back at Abbott, they're falling in line to what they are used to doing, right? Everybody's back in their respective classrooms. And when they were in the hallway, you know, they were talking about it still smells the same. And then they're like, oh, now I smell a new smell. It's probably the mold. Then the lights start flickering. All this other stuff was going on. So my thing is, how long are they going to be back at Abbott? Are they going to have to leave again? What's going to happen? Is anything major going to happen like it did with the furnace? Or are we just going to, are they just going to make it work at Abbott until it gets completed, right? So yeah, that was basically the end of the episode. But it's good to be back at Abbott. I'm glad they get to go back. And then in the end, Daya comes back, and she says she enjoyed swimming with the manatees on her vacation. And her and Ava's love-hate relationship cracks me up, because Ava kind of just played her off like, okay, get out, like, nice to see you, but okay, you're dismissed. She gives her a souvenir she bought her of a manatee, places it on Ava's desk, and then Ava's like, I did miss her, I really did. Like, girl, Ava, you know you got a heart, girl, you got a heart. So yeah, that was the episode, y'all. I be feeling like I talk a mile a minute, but this is a cute little 1-2 on the episode. I am so glad that they're going to be back. I can't wait to see what's going to be happening. Are we going to stay at Abbott? Do we got to go back to the mall? What's going to happen? But I also had my little senses going, because y'all know I always pick something out of there that like touches me a little deep. And my revelation was just like the district. Like, it kind of reminded me of like the strong people, the strong ones in your life, or if you're the strong one, or the one that people label strong, and how people oftentimes look you over, or they don't feel like you need the affirmation, or you don't need help or something like that, because you look like that you got it under control, or that it's easy for you. You make it look so easy. So they kind of, you know, they feel like you got it, and they don't have to pitch in to help, or they don't have to be quick to help you like they are for other people. But it made me also realize, like, we all need something. We all need someone. But at the end of the day, we got to be able to defend ourselves, or stand up for ourselves, and be advocates for ourselves, because nobody wants to be taken advantage of, and nobody deserves to be taken advantage of. And whether you are labeled strong, or you feel strong or not, or whatever label people have put on you, like, again, like I said, you deserve somebody. You deserve someone, some people, something to make you feel seen, and to make you feel valued, and to make you feel heard. I don't know, that just kind of hit home to me a little bit while I was rewatching it today. But yeah, that was the episode, y'all. So I hope you guys enjoyed this recap. I hope you guys like my little revelation I just gave. And I hope you guys come back when we are gonna recap again next week, same time, same channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. I do. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.